Yes, we are live now. Hari Om. A very good afternoon to everyone joined here. Respected Principal Dr. K.V. Surendran, the dynamic and vibrant resource person Mr. Parag Makhecha, colleagues and my dear students. On behalf of the Department of Computer Application, let me extend warm wishes and welcome you all for the third edition of Chinarts Student Enrichment Program hosted by our department. The program is organized in association with the IQAC and Soft Skills and Finishing School Club. Today's session to ace in the IT industry is going to be an opportune moment to interact and explore with the speaker, Mr. Parag Makhecha, who is a proud Chinmaya alumni and has got years of experience in various disciplines. Moving on to my duty, let me take this opportunity to welcome our principal, Dr. K.V. Surendran, who always motivates us to have a wider outlook in our career. On behalf of the department, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Let me share a screen now. Before I introduce our resource person, I would like to share a screen. With immense pleasure and pride, let me take the privilege of introducing Mr. Parag Makhecha, a multifaceted personality, having earned his scholarship in quality management from Tokyo, Japan. He is a very successful entrepreneur, indomitable TV presenter, influential and motivational speaker, creative fashion designer, and an accomplished master of ceremonies who always steal the show. He owns the Incord Furniture at Kannur, Eventa Broadcasting Corporation at Mumbai. As mentioned, he is a proud alumni of our sister institution, Chinmaya Vidyalaya, and also the president of Chinmaya alumni who actively participate in Chinmaya Mission programs. A socially active personality, he is involved in the organizations like North Malabar Chamber of Commerce and Rotary International. On behalf of our institution, we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. I also welcome all my colleagues and dear students who have joined here. Students, you can make use of the session by actively interacting with our speaker. As our Puja Gurudev says, you can and you must. Let me now invite our principal, Dr. K.V. Surendran, to address the students.
Hari Om. Good afternoon to all the participants. Esteemed speaker of this afternoon, Mr. Parag Makhecha, who has already been introduced here as a TV presenter, motivational speaker, master of ceremonies, entrepreneur, fashion designer, and so on. I'm also happy to hear that he is from our own family, an alumni of Chinmaya. And I'm extremely happy that he has chosen to be with us, spending his valuable time, another hour or so. And as I need not tell you, we in Chinmaya aims at the holistic development of our students. And it is keeping in mind this that we organize different programs. I take the opportunity to congratulate the Department of Computer Applications. The head of the department is Anita Haridas. The IQAC, again, she's a convener. And the convener of the Soft Skills and Finishing School Club, Miss Divina, for taking this initiative. So definitely it is going to be a very great opportunity for students as I look at it. The topic given is to ace in the IT industry, enhancing your employability using soft skills. So as all of us know, a mere degree will not take us anywhere. And wherever we go, what is tested is what we call this employability skill. Definitely, there's a lot of things as I look at it are involved, like how good you are as a communicator, what you say and where you say and how you say. All these things I think become important, and they look for leadership qualities. They look for reliability. They look for you as a team leader, for that matter, how patient you are and are you adaptable, and all kinds of things are looked at, as I believe. And most importantly, probably they look at how good you are at problem solving, perhaps how you can do things as a troubleshooter, for that matter. So I think these and more, or I believe that the next 1 hour, as I said, is going to be a very, very engaging and interactive session, which will be a rich experience for our students. And because we have amongst us a very eminent speaker and a who is more than a speaker, a motivational speaker. And I take again the opportunity to extend my personal gratitude to Mr. Parag Makhecha, who has agreed to be with us to conduct this session. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Before we move on to the session, few instructions to the students. Students, please note an attendance and feedback form will be shared in the chat box towards the end of the session to mark your attendance and to collect the feedback, and also to issue the e-certificate. Let me now invite the speaker of the day, Mr. Parag Makhecha, to begin the session. Mr. Parag, over to you.
Hari Om, and thank you very much, Dr. Surendran and Anita Haridas, for that wonderful introduction that you just gave about me. And it's always a pleasure and always a privilege to be associated with Chinmaya anytime, every time. And I always look forward to an opportunity where if I have to be a speaker for youngsters or for any Chinmaya student, I would take it as a privilege. So, seeking the blessings of our Puja Gurudev and of course my own mother, I would like to address all the youngsters who are listening to this, who are watching this, and who probably are, looking forward for a great year, a great life ahead in the chosen field, the IT industry and otherwise. I mean, whatever your vocation could be. And I'm told they're all youngsters between, say, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21. And you are all in one of the most comfortable positions right now because you're all studying. But there's a huge, big world out there waiting for you. And when you step into the world, you have to be ready. You have to be ready with your basic academic qualifications plus the know-how of managing the big world out there. So being in the IT industry is a completely different industry from the general businesses that we do here. However, the rules are probably the same for all the industry standards as far as employability is concerned. And, it's a matter of absolute privilege. We all happen to be born in an era of modernization, where information technology is the key, where communication can simply be defined as a couple of buttons pressed. Isn't that absolutely marvelous that we are born in this era? For those of you, if you go back home, ask your parents, ask your grandparents, what technology was when they were young or when they were of our age. I remember my father telling me many times that he has made a trunk call from Kannur to Bombay, Mumbai, a trunk call. And I used to wonder, what's that, a trunk call? Then came the STD. And then he told me there used to be an era, there used to be a time when for urgent, absolute urgent measures, he would make a lightning call. And I used to wonder, what's a lightning call? He said, that's faster. You could probably get connected in an hour or two. A trunk call, you book it, probably it takes anybody's guesses how many hours, or probably a day. But today, you and I, at the click of a button, can send a message, a voice message, a text message, a photograph, a video, miles and miles and miles away. Technology at its best. It's a great world. It is. I could probably send a voice clip to America in a matter of seconds, to Australia in a couple of seconds, which was not the case earlier. Now, how do we all be a part of this? I am a user. I use all the technology available at my disposal. I may choose to use it. I may not choose to use it, but that technology is very much available, and it is made, invented, discovered by some intelligent geniuses. So don't you want to be a part of that entire generation who contributed in creating something out of the world, something that all of us will be proud of, something that generations to come will thank and remember you for that? Well, that's the world of IT for you. Great scope in the world of IT. Absolutely fantastic. What better example is in the field of IT than the current situation, the pandemic, the COVID? All of us took our life, took our own freedom for granted. And one fine morning, if I use the word one fine morning, you are grounded under lockdown. To a very great extent, to a very large extent, technology came to our rescue. Communication was not stopped. People suddenly started using social media like never before. Never before has social media been used so much. Every one of us started upgrading ourselves, updating ourselves, finding out means to communicate, which were already there, but not used very much so. So, you want to be a part of that industry that creates magic, if you were to say so. For that, you have to be employable. For that, you have to start a business. For that, you should know what doors to knock so that that opportunity door opens, right? Employability, employable, employee are very, very relevant topics in the modern world. Because if somebody starts a business, that person needs to employ people. He or she who starts a business needs to employ the right kind of people. The right kind of people with the right attitude, approach, understanding, skills, and of course, a positive outlook towards the larger picture. So how do you all fit into that? We are all in a classroom. We have all been in a classroom, and we will continue to be in a classroom for the simple reason that learning never stops. However, what are those fine details that will make you noticed in an interview? What is that one quality that will shine on you and probably increase your chances of getting the job that you have been waiting for? What is the spark on your face that will eventually land you the best job that you have been waiting for and studying for? Well, almost, as I said, all industries require, request, or rather demand certain basic qualities for people to be employed in their chosen field? Well, I run 2 businesses, as it was told in my introduction. Incord Furniture in Kannur, which is a complete retail store of furniture. I run another business called Eventa Broadcasting Corporation. That's a completely different and diverse business from Incord Furniture. Eventa Broadcasting Corporation basically is about events and broadcasting. There is absolutely no match or no correlation between both the businesses I do, except for one. Only one thing that relates, and that is getting the best people to do my job. Best people whom I can entrust the responsibility of burdening the shoulders. Those people who run my business have to be that damn good, because they are included into my business and into my family. They have to be given due responsibilities. Will they be able to handle that? Will they be successful? Will they take it for granted, or will they seriously catapult my business to another level? These are the thoughts as an employer that goes in my mind. All right? Time and again, people show up, turn up for interviews. Quite frankly, quite honestly, let me tell you on your face right now, every youngster who's listening to this, your biodata, your resume, your profile has very little thing to do or has very little consequences on the table of an employer or on the table of the person who's taking your interview. Your biodata, your profile, your resume has got very little to do, quite frankly, unless and until it's a high-skilled job where only and only skill matters. Only skill matters. Those kind of jobs are seldom and far in between. But for the kind of job that you're applying, a lot of other things matter than just your 85%, 93%, 96% mark. Marks do matter, no doubt, but it is not the only guarantee for a good job. For one position, how many people apply and how many people get it? Why did that person get it and not this one? What was that little extra this person had than the other person? All right? A couple of traits that will probably give you an edge the next time or every time you appear for an interview. Number one, grooming. The first appearance of a candidate gives a lot of edge over others. Well-dressed, well-groomed, well-behaved, well-mannered, presenting your biodata, your profile in a much better way, smart-looking. That is also very important. Communication. Communication is very, very important, especially because you being in the IT sector. Communication is the key for you. You will have to communicate with your superiors, with your juniors, with your colleagues, with your customers, and I would say your irritated customers. You will have to talk to people who don't understand your language because you're probably doing cross-country work, algorithms, so many datas. Communication has to be very, very good. Not only oral communication, emails, WhatsApp, in writing, in coding, your communication, your body language, every part that is of you must be communicating. And that communication must have some positivity and some positive vibes. The vibes must reflect that, yes, you're on the right track. You are getting the job done. People are happy being around you. That kind of a communication has to go down. Technical stuff apart. Otherwise, you will also have to project a successful communication every single time you are communicating orally or in writing. It's very important. Productivity. How productive are you going to be for my organization? Are you going to be an asset or are you going to be a liability for me? How well will you understand my kind of work? How well will you try to bring in the resources for the success or for the betterment of a project given to you or a job entrusted to you? Will you understand those silent communications from me as an employer or as an employer or from an organization? Will you understand those unwritten laws? Will you be able to be productive under pressure? All these things are also considered when you appear for a job interview or when you give yourself an opportunity in front of an interviewer. All right, marks are great, have a glance, fine, good, but what else, See, in any organization, when you start communicating, when you start talking to a person who's approaching you, you can kind of finally assess whether this person is going to be trustworthy. Will this person keep secrets that need to be kept about an organization, about a project, about a data in process, about some work that is entrusted? Will this man or woman will be really trustworthy? See, in my organization, when I'm doing my furniture contracts and turnkey projects, a lot of quotations have to be given. And those quotations are really big quotations. We probably supply to huge organizations, government sector. So probably a couple of hundreds make a lot of difference. They can make or break my business. Okay. And the fine tuning and understanding of the requirement. So will this man be trustworthy? Will he go to the right source and purchase the merchandise? Will he betray my trust and take a small commission? These are the things that come into my kind of line of business. IT is a different thing. Will you be trustworthy? If I'm entrusting a code, will that code be with you? Will you share it with someone else? Will you lose it? Will you be irresponsible? So all these things come into play. These are very, very important things that are taken into consideration and understanding of that. Will you be action oriented or will you just sit on the job? Will you meet the deadline? Will you come up with some flimsy excuses? Will you come out and tell me the server was down, I couldn't get the job done because the other gentleman or the other lady was not available. I've already communicated from my side. I'm not able to get any communication. All these things matter. Will you get the job done? Are you action oriented? You send an email, you don't get a reply, call them up. You call, you don't get them, go and meet them in person if they're somewhere around here. Or send other means of communication, but get the job done. So will you take action? If there is a serious issue somewhere down, will you be the man, will you be the woman, will you be the lady to jump and say, all right, I got a solution for it. I'm going around and getting the job done. It matters. Will you be a team player? Will you be a part of an existing team? There's an existing team already there. You might be the new person in. Will you be a part of my team? Can you adapt? Can you adopt to my kind of understanding, surrounding, environment? Will you be a team player? Not everybody can be a team player. Let me tell you very honestly. Cricket, football is a team player's game. You need to have that understanding. Let the other person take the credit. It's okay. I'm a team player. But that is a game called chess where every man is for himself. All right? Wrestling, chess, singles. You play singles. Tennis, you can play doubles, but there's singles. There, it's just you're playing for yourself. So you got to understand your gut. your strength and your weakness. Are you a team player? If you do all the hard work and somebody else gets the credit, are you okay with that? Will you not be productive then? So all these things matter. All these things are taken into consideration. Every point is taken into serious discussion about a candidate, your experience, your past experience. All right. Now you're all students. So I must tell you this, as a student, I get a lot of people who want to join my company, be it the Eventa Broadcasting Corporation, Mumbai-based company, or Encore Furniture. Don't make this great mistake of just turning up for the interview and the very first question, what is the salary? I mean, what do you mean, what's the salary? They don't come and ask me, what is the job? What is the profile? What is the timing? What is expected of this person? What is the previous experience? They're not groomed. And they just turn up and ask this first question, what is the salary? So don't make these kind of mistakes. Yeah. When you're studying, a lot of people will tell you so many things, that what you're studying is a great thing that you're doing. The whole world is waiting for you. The whole world is waiting for you to come out and do something great. Well, probably, maybe, but that's not always the reality out there. So you need a reality check. You got to have an understanding about hands-on job. All right. So you need to understand that once you finish your studies, start working somewhere for whatever salary may be. For a year or two, join good companies, basically because you want to learn something. Okay? It's learning process. Join some good companies at whatever pay they say in your area of interest. Understand. See how things actually work in the big world. Once you study something, you probably go after it. And when you actually join that business, you somehow feel that this is not my kind of calling. This is not my job. This is not what I like. You would have studied all this, but then when you actually start working, you don't like it. I know a friend of mine who has been working tirelessly to become a doctor. He was in the MBBS, he did his medicine, and finally ended up being an IT expert. Well, that's an advantage for you when I say an IT expert, but he was an exception. He has now become some IT czar. He started his own company and that's doing pretty good. So these things are actually, a part of the entire process. Multitasking and probably multi-skills. This is also something very, very important. I want somebody to join my organization who is willing to give that little extra to get the whole job done. That little extra mile just to make sure that he will get the job done. That may not be his job. That may not be the job he's designated for, but yet he's willing to do it because he's a team player, because he wants the entire organization to be a successful organization. All right. Also, you need to have the analytical ability as an IT person, because that you'll probably have. For example, like if you're into the analytical issue, if you're very good in that, there might be some server issue that crops up. There might be some identity issue that may crop up, some security issue. You should be able to handle that. You should be able to make sure that those kind of issues, if come on to you or thrust it on you, you should be smart enough to do those kind of things. Then you are the pick of the day. So all these things are actually, a part of a process of grooming you to become the future. And also, when you are going for a job, you can also think in another way as well. Why don't you start your own business? Why don't you become an employer and not an employee? Why can't you start a business that might change the world? You can always do that. You can always think. Today, especially, the opportunity is unlimited. Who had ever thought that there might be something called a Facebook? It's out of the world. An iPad was something which was never there, but it is now there. So many applications which were never there, which were never even thought of that they might be of some use, are there. You know, so you can be one of those individuals, rather than just thinking in one line of direction that you want to get a job, why can't you be the one who gives a job to somebody else? Think that way as well. The scope is unlimited. Somebody might be thinking, I have a lot of financial issues. How can I start a business? Business is not for me. No. Who said so? You can be the first generation businessman in your family. It's all right. So you need to think out of the box when you actually come into the world. You're still studying. So you have a good 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, probably the first years have 2 years more to understand and start thinking in the direction that do you want to be an employee or you want to be an employer in your chosen field. Talk to people in the IT industry. Look around what's happening in terms of technological advancements. Just see how the world is changing. Who ever thought that 2020 is going to be a year of pandemic? Come on. Come on. No way. No way. December 31st, 2019, I had a great New Year party. I had a great New Year party. And now I was thinking, was I dancing and singing and having great fun to see a year like this? Come on. So you can never predict what's there for the future. All right. So we're talking about how the world is going to be the next 5 years. We don't know what's going to happen next year. I hope we come out of this pandemic, but there is an opportunity still. There's a great opportunity here. Who ever thought that something like this, a social media platform like Zoom and Google Meet would be in vogue, and almost on a regular basis, we're going to have speaker sessions, study sessions. Who ever thought that school would be on your iPad or on your laptop? I mean, we always think about school being a classroom, but see the way technology has helped us. Otherwise, for 1 year, there wouldn't be any school. There's no communication otherwise. But see how technology has actually enhanced and propelled all of us to another level completely. And I was speaking to Anita and she said a lot of questions, some of you have sent, and I've got a couple of questions as well. So we can actually have some questions, Anita, if that's fine. Otherwise, a few questions have already come in. But if you could have some questions coming in, it'll be great. It'll be great to have an interaction rather than just one talk. It'll be great to have some interactions. It'll be great.
Yeah, Parag, please address those questions which are already sent to you, and by the time the students will be interested in interacting with you.
Okay, so there's a lot of questions that have come in. The huge questions have come in, and I've picked up a couple of them which are very interesting and very nice, which I found. Like somebody was asking me in IT, what is the gaming career? Somebody asked me the gaming career in the IT. Well, frankly, to make a game out of what you guys are actually building or what you're doing, gaming career, generally people say that, I want to make a video game, or I want to make a device, or probably a game. But there are so many opportunities in that gaming sector. Do you know there's something called a game tester? You get paid very well. You get very well paid just to test the games that somebody has made. A gaming tester. Somebody makes a video game or a game, and your job is to test the game. It's great fun, but you have been made a tester to find out all the nitty-gritties and all the minute details and attentions, and probably to find out if there is any technical flaw in that game, and will that game hang, or is that game good? In that field, again, you have an opportunity of a game audio person, giving an audio to the game, the different sound effects. Now that's again an opportunity in the gaming sector. You don't have to be a guy who makes the game, but somebody who's made a game, you're giving your complete sound effects to that. So that's also an opportunity. That's a huge business, I'm told, of that, you know. And maybe maybe you could be one of those idea givers. You have a great idea. You have a great idea for a game, and you could probably give it to some big company, and they could take your idea and make a video game out of it. When I was in school, there was one game that we used to play, was Nintendo Company, a small, tiny little video game. You just 2 buttons to press, and you used to have great fun. But see the video games that are there today, unbelievable, unbelievable. Great scope in there. You get well paid. At the same time, it's pretty stressful job because you're always trying to find out the nitty-gritties, and there's always somebody making a better game than you. So you got to be thinking ahead of your times to make a beautiful game. That was one question, the future of gaming, you know. And then somebody asked me, like, you know, what technology would probably be in 2030. Well, I mean, see, technology is expanding by the minute. Technology is just going great guns by the minute. So you really don't know what kind of technologies, but what we see is there'll be a great use of probably 3D printers. The 3D printer technology is being used here and there. That's still, I wouldn't say on a large scale, but I'm sure that 3D printers would, at least the worldwide, would be used in large quantities, you know, products maybe for the medical fraternity and probably for the construction industry. So those things might happen, you know, in the future, in 2030, by the time these things will be really, really fast paced. You know, having a chip talking to almost all your devices can be integrated and put into a human body is what I've been told. I mean, you don't necessarily have a smartphone connected to your body, but a chip that will start relaying things to your all the devices, especially the medical field is what I've been told. So that is a great scope out there. So these are technologies, and I'm sure the internet is going to boom like never before. You can see the boom right now in the world of pandemic. The internet, I'm sure that 80 to 90% of the world might just be on the internet. I mean, internet is something which is now more urban, but slowly trickling down to the rural areas. And now the whole world probably needs to be connected. So I'm sure the internet traffic is going to go really huge. So great opportunities for jobs in that area as well. So, you know, those kind of things can also be there. I mean, yeah. And already some testing is being done on driverless cars. Now, those are on testing. Some say it's already there. Some say it's tested. But I'm sure that in the near future, you will have that technology also very much in place, where you have these driverless vehicles, cars and buses and transport system. You already have something called an autopilot in the flight. But for a common day-to-day activity, like for my car would be without a driver, so I don't know. So those technological advances could also be there by that time, because yeah, it could be there, and it should be there. Yes. I had one more. I remember one more question on what impact will the artificial intelligence play in the near future. Well, artificial intelligence is already very much around almost everywhere. You know, it may not be to the greatest extent that we are even thinking it will be there, but you can see artificial intelligence almost everywhere. You know, you go to an ATM machine, the money that comes out, I mean, the exact count of the money from my account. These are all small examples of day-to-day artificial intelligences that are being put into use and into play. You call a mobile service today. Earlier, you used to hear a lady or somebody, genuinely a human voice, but today you are automating machines. Now, these are all things, now Siri, for example, these are all being tested and tried. So that artificial intelligence might be about, 40 to 50%. In almost everywhere you go, you might be talking to robots and stuff. So that's, we will not have the human touch, but then getting things done in a world might be a little more easy with the artificial intelligence. So these were a couple of good questions that were there. And what are the things that cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence? Well, so many. You don't have to worry about it. For example, the judges, you need to be human beings. The judges who can take real decisions for you in a court of law, lawyers, judges, they have to be of absolute humans. Then probably like, somebody making a movie, you need the script writers, you need somebody to write a story. You probably need to have humans to do that. Sportsmen, it's great to see a 11 member team of robots playing cricket, but I'm sure that we always want to see humans play cricket. So, those are a few interesting questions that were there, which I feel was pretty good. I mean, those questions were very nice. Yeah, Anita, we can have some questions.
Students, those who want to interact with the speaker, you can unmute your mic and interact with them.
There was one question. There was one more question that somebody asked me, like, what are the pros and cons of working in an IT industry? I think that's Shreya Lakshmi or somebody who asked. Well, the pros and cons of working in an IT industry. Well, the pros, you get paid well. If you're at the right place, if you're at the right job, you get very well paid. Those are the pros. I mean, and the cons, it's a stressful industry. You are always at the brim of getting the job done, because today we are so impatient that technology, when I'm using my phone, when I'm using my iPad, just a couple of seconds, if my Wi-Fi drops, I have to just go and check whether the Wi-Fi is working or not. Imagine my father who had to make a trunk call and wait for hours just to say hello to somebody. I'm impatient. If I'm talking to on a mobile phone and there's a signal drop for a couple of seconds, you get irritated. So it's a stressful job, because if something goes wrong there, the guys with the server need to be really fast to get the whole thing done. So it's a little stressful job, but well-paid job. And advantage of being in an IT industry that you're always creative. I mean, you're getting to learn new things, futuristic things that keep coming by your way. So your attitude, your aptitude towards that has to be there as well. Then you can probably enjoy being in that industry. Otherwise, you'll always be stressful. But if you're a learner, you like to see what the modern things are going to be, even before the common man gets to know. It's great fun to be there. I had a customer in my office who's working in Germany, and he was telling me that he's working for a particular car company that's into the latest development of car softwares. The car is to be only introduced for the entire population in 2023. But they have already got the model ready and they're testing on the racetracks. And he's one of those guys. So he says that when it comes out in 23, it's an obsolete technology as far as he's concerned, because he's already working on a technology which is going to come in 2030. So if you're a person of that aptitude and attitude, you'll probably love being in that industry. That kind of things. Any other questions you have?
Amisha, Amisha, you can go ahead.
Okay. Is there Amisha there?
Yeah, she joined and she raised her hand also.
Okay.
Hello.
Anyone else?
Ma'am, may I ask?
Yeah, Akshara, go ahead.
Who's that?
Akshara,
sorry, my name is Akasha. Okay. Akasha.
Okay.
Okay, please.
Okay. What relevance do soft skills have to employment? What relevance do soft skills have to employment?
Soft skills have a very, very relevant approach for employment. I must tell you that when somebody I just said that earlier, if somebody walks into my office and doesn't have the soft skills, the basic mannerisms, I am not bothered if that person is well qualified and probably can do all the work in the world. It doesn't matter, because the basic soft skills of communication is not there. A person who is only skilled in that specific job is fine, but soft skills, for example, something very, very simple as greeting your fellow co-workers, being a team player, being a part of the entire organization, being around for the next extra 20 minutes. These are soft skills that probably you need to acquire with time. And these are very, very relevant. Very, very relevant. And those who don't actually upgrade or update to their soft skills, it's difficult to deal with such people. You know? A lot of opportunities are lost because of a very bad approach to that work or bad attitude. Maybe because that person doesn't know. It's not arrogance. It's not that this person is arrogant, but that person doesn't have the basic about the soft skills of mannerism, and that will put that person down. That person will not be considered for perks. That person will not be considered to be a person in the inner circle of the management. If I'm a management person, that person will not be considered as a part of me. He's working for me, that's fair, that's fine. But then he will not be a part of my inner circle of the management, the grapevine, and will tend to lose a lot of things in terms of opportunities and perks. It's very important. Soft skills are very, very important, no doubt about
that. There is a question by Ms. Drishya.
Yeah.
What are the factors to consider in establishing the web presence?
What are the factors? What are the factors?
What are the factors?
Yes.
To be considered in establishing a web presence?
Oh, web presence. WEB,
yeah.
web presence. Oh, see, now, today we live in a world where, long back somebody told me this, advertisement is the right to choose. The factors that you need to consider to make a web presence are that you are making your presence known to the whole world. Okay, your website has to be really different. Your website must have all the contents of
Hello? Hello, Mr. Parag? Oh, he got disconnected. He'll be joining now. Yes, Mr. Parag, please unmute your mic.
Was that a connection loss or something?
Yeah, we lost the connection.
Okay, great.
It's fine.
So everyone's back, or is there anyone else then? Is there, did we lose the connection completely?
No. Only from your end.
Oh, it was lost from my end, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So the web presence is what I was just telling. It has to be really, really friendly, user friendly. And these are factors, and of course the cost. The cost is also very, very important because it depends on what industry are you trying to make the website for. Is it a small, medium enterprise or a very huge enterprise or the government sector? So costing also is very, very important. And generally people need a website today is to make their presence felt, because everyone's got a website. I also need a website. So we need to have a paradigm shift in thinking that your website could probably be your gateway to business, where even transactions can be enabled in a website. So these things is something what the web person has to explain to the business house, because many of us probably want a website, as I said, just because everyone has a website. But to utilize it effectively, efficiently, the web person has to explain this entire thing to all of us. These are a lot of factors to be kept in mind.
Ms. Vidya has posted a question. Ms. Vidya,
Yeah.
what are the factors to be considered when we select an employment opportunity in the IT industry?
I'm sorry? What are the?
What are the factors to be considered when we select an employment opportunity in the IT industry?
See, what are the factors to consider in an IT industry? I mean, which area of IT industry are you actually planning to go? You have to understand whether the concerned job that you're seeking or you're applying for, does it have a future? Or will that technology be obsolete? Will that technology be obsolete in a couple of months or years or in the near future? So there's no point in applying for something like this. Second option, is that a high paying job, or does it involve more stress, more work, and the pay is not very good? Third point, is that job that you're applying actually going to be a problem solver for the entire mankind? Will that actually evolve eventually as a technology that most of us are going to use? Then it's a great area to be in. Because today, if you like in Bangalore, when I was there, every second place or every third place was an IT hub or an IT industry. How many of them are still working today? A lot of applications just pop up and then they just die off, a natural death, because no one's using them anymore. So always be in a company or apply for a job that is going to be there for a long time. The relevance of that job, no matter what other things happen, that particular area will always be there. So those are factors you need to really consider well. Yeah, Anita, you there?
Yeah. There is another question posted by Ms. Milina.
Okay.
What are some of the biggest trends impacting the IT industry? How do you expect these trends to affect your job?
Your voice is breaking, sorry.
What are some of the biggest trends impacting the IT industry? And how do you expect these trends to affect your job?
You mean the trend, T-R-E-N, trends?
Yes, trends, T-R-E-N-D-S.
Yeah, what are the greatest trends? Well, the greatest example, the greatest example is what's happening today in the times of COVID. I mean, how many of us actually thought that on a day in and a day out, you will be on a social media like a Zoom or a Google Meet? This is a new trend that's coming now. Everyone is communicating on a platform like this. So these are the new trends that are coming in. Okay, and how are they impacting? It's impacting a lot of other industries like travel industry. It's impacting the travel industry. Now, I don't want to travel unnecessarily if I can be on a Zoom. Ideally, Chinmaya would have invited me as a guest speaker or anybody as a guest speaker to their premises in the college, and we would be in a big hall or a huge area where we would be talking. But today we are on a Zoom. So these are the new trends of technology that are coming in, and they are impacting other people's job and creating jobs as well. So these are trends to watch for, these kind of trends. Now, this is being utilized in almost every field. Now, car salesmen want to have a Zoom meeting. The medical fraternity wants to have, on these kind of conferences. In fact, our Prime Minister has now started using these facilities because we can't travel. So these are trends and they're huge game changers in the future. These trends are here to stay for a while, and I don't think they will be impacted in terms of the trend. But it impacts other people's jobs. Yes, a lot of jobs may be impacted by this, but not this particular trend. Definitely not.
How will COVID-19 impact placements for freshers in the IT industry?
Well, it actually will not impact, it will actually enhance. In fact, COVID-19, this pandemic issue, a lot of job opportunities have opened up. If you actually look around, the traditional businesses, the traditional businesses may have taken a big hit, and people say no jobs, no business, the market is bad, the money is absolutely not circulating in the market. That is the old school, the traditional business. But the modern places, jobs have just started coming up around. A lot of job opportunities have started coming in maintaining servers, in social media, YouTubers. There are so many other opportunities that have just sprung up. And to maintain that, your employment, your employer and your employees are actually in the vogue. Just take a look around. Now, did you even imagine a cricket being played without audience? Can you even think about it? I don't think anyone of our generation would have thought that cricket, an IPL cricket, such a huge match being played without an audience. It's been telecasted the way it was, except the audience was not there. The job was created for other event management companies to manage such a Herculean task, which otherwise would not have been there. So many other things you can see. Job opportunities have actually sprung up, have actually opened up. A lot of them. The banking sector as well. And eventually it all ends up with the IT related stuff, because these are all technical stuff. Now, all the questions, Anita, that are coming to me are mostly technical and, more analytical and technical stuff, about the IT industry. I am from a furniture industry and I am from the event industry, actually.
Yeah, Miss Archana wants to talk to you, I think. Archana?
Yes. So please.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please start.
Recently, I saw a documentary named Social Dilemma. It had a code within it. Only two organizations call their customers users, illegal drugs and software. The statement was quite shocking for me. The companies are mining our data. How do you see this issue?
Well, see, companies are mining your data. Absolutely no way you can stop that from doing. You download any application on your mobile phone. Your terms and conditions, I'm sure you have not read a single word. I have not read a single terms and conditions ever since Microsoft was being downloaded in my computers. They are mining definitely our data. They are listening to everything that we speak. They know our choices. They know what we want. And I'll give you a classic example. I've said that in my last session. I did say that, there were so many incidents when I was talking to a friend of mine and my mobile phone was probably there. And within an hour, I have started getting advertisements of the product that I've been looking for, I've been seeking for. Surprising. It just cannot be a coincidence. So now when I'm booking an air ticket, the moment I look for my destinations in the air tickets, in an hour or so, I start getting messages from the resorts, hotels, tourist industry that these places would be great to visit. It's not a coincidence. Now, when they're mining our data, it is of great concern. There is no doubt about that. Your security, your privacy is at stake. But let me tell you one thing. On the social media, it is we who keep posting our stuff. Today's generation loves taking a selfie and just posting it every single way. So then we cannot say that we are scared. Anything that is in the public domain is no longer yours. It could be through you, it could be through your device, it could be your photograph or your picture. But once it's on a public domain, it's just in the public domain. Anything can happen. Cyber security is there. Yes, they have to take care of this. The political issues happen, religious issues happen. There are a lot of implications on this. But the fact of the matter is, It is happening, and nobody is forcing us to do that. We are ourselves allowing those companies to mine our data, because the moment you download any software, any application, you are saying yes to every single terms and conditions which we don't know. Access media files, yes. Access voice and communication, yes. Access this by default, because you want that software, you want that app, because if you don't agree to your terms, it will not work. So it is quite dangerous, but on another level, it's all happening. And I mean, there's nothing much you can do. The world is now connected so much that nothing is private anymore. You know, there's hardly anything left private these days. You can run, but you can't hide. That's what I read a caption somewhere long back when a CCTV camera ad was given. You can run, but you can't hide. It's like that. The whole world has been watched. It's been mapped. Everything about you is probably now known, you know. So minimize your usage on social media, which is not a practical thing to do, actually.
Ms. Navya wants to talk to you. Navya?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
The technologies are growing very rapidly in these days. So I have read an article recently saying that the delivery boys will be replaced by drones, like this Swiggy and Tozuki's Tomato and all.
I'm not able to listen to your voice because there's a lot of breakage. So could you just repeat your question, please?
Yes, sir. So recently I have read some articles based on saying that the deliveries will be done by drones, which are replacing the delivery boys. So after 3 years, when we graduate this BCA, when we come out to the new world, what are the opportunities we get, the new opportunities which we can explore?
Yes, I mean, I've also read it. I've experienced it as well. Drones doing the delivery, yes. I mean, initially, I must tell you that the drones doing all these things are still in the testing stage. It is not rapid. Though on social media, on Reddit, you can be seeing photographs and videos of drones doing it. Yes, it's happening, but not to the level that it will eventually end up. And that would be probably, we have seen videos outside your window, there's a drone coming and delivering your pizza. Now, those are all beautiful, fancy advertisements. A lot of security issues concerned, a lot of drones that might be used for anti-national activity. So there are a lot of things still being worked on, you know, on a very superficial level, on a very experimental level. These things are happening, no doubt about that. A lot of companies are projecting, a lot of companies are asking people to join them. And there's a huge opportunity for them as well, because eventually, you cannot stop technology. And I for once, I love technology. I am with technology. Technology must grow. It must make our lives easier. But at the same time, technology must not take over our brains. Unfortunately, it's kind of happening, you know. We stop thinking now. You just press the button and say, Siri, switch on my fan. Siri, can you just play this song? We're not thinking about other song that we want. So it's kind of disruptive right now. But opportunities, by the time you finish your studies, drones and super drones and technologies and a lot of things might keep changing. And I don't see any dirt of you being not getting an opportunity in that area. So you, as you rightly did now, you are reading articles, keep in touch with the social media about drones and stuff. And in that area is what you interest. Keep pursuing it. And as time changes, the moment you finish your study, you'll probably get a fairly good idea which kind of company to join and stuff. Even the army, the military areas, the medical areas, all these activities, definitely drones will be playing a good role in the future, keeping in mind the security issues, no doubt about that. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Parag.
Yeah.
Ms. Udaya wants to talk to you. Udaya?
Yeah, sure.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, today in this present IT sector, we are having both online as well as offline jobs available. So
Okay.
which kind of jobs are going to be providing more growth to the IT sector in future?
What kind of jobs will be there in the future in the IT is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Quite frankly, almost, almost all kinds of jobs. Now listen, now understand, there used to be a receptionist earlier in every office. That no longer is there because the IT industry has taken over the artificial voice over stuff. Again, going back to the traditional school of thought where the BSNL or the telephone exchange had so many telephone exchange people trying to get your phones. Today, it's not there. So they are all replaced. So the opportunities in these areas are huge. See, IT for a lot of questions are coming. What opportunities are going to be there? Let me tell you, IT is always going to be an opportunistic area. Somebody wants to be a gamer, somebody wants to develop an app, somebody wants to start their own company, somebody wants to just get employed. IT is an area which is just booming. People come and tell you that that the profit margins are yes, maybe those things need to be worked out. I am not getting an order. Maybe you're not competent enough. The IT industry as a whole will not stop growing. A certain company has shut down, a certain individual, because of the incompetence of that person, has closed down. But IT as a whole will just keep developing. So all those questions about opportunities, please understand, opportunities are unlimited. Not only in IT, in every field. The government of India on one side says that they're going to create so many jobs. Then how can there be a dearth of other jobs as well? So don't worry about opportunities because you're studying right now. You're probably in your first year, second year. By the time you finish, opportunities are going to be there. The point is, will you be there at the right place at the right time with your soft skills in place? That is something you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about developing yourself, grooming yourself, and making yourself industry ready. Because skills you can probably acquire, skills you already have, talent you are maybe born with. But other things you need to be ready. So I feel don't worry about opportunities. Please don't worry about opportunities. Opportunities unlimited and you can create opportunities. So don't worry about the opportunity part of it. Don't worry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Parag. Another question from Nandana Anil.
Sure.
Teamwork or working alone? Which one do you prefer and why? Teamwork or working alone? Which one do you prefer and why?
Well, it purely depends in the kind of work that you're engaged into. Quite frankly, it depends on what kind of job you're doing or what kind of business you're doing. To make it more example, now if I'm playing cricket, I can't just play alone. It has to be a teamwork. It better be a teamwork. So it's easy for you to understand. So I'm giving you that example. A job that needs a teamwork needs to be done in a teamwork. For example, you're processing data. You have to have a team in India, and there's another team in Australia who will eventually report to a team in the US. So if that is the kind of job you're doing, it is a teamwork. You have to be in a team. You must know how to work in a team. But if you're doing a job alone, by yourself, like you're the boss, or probably you're thinking of a new idea, you're thinking of starting an industry, then it's just you. You need to think for yourself. That is your job. Now, for example, if you have been entrusted a certain app which only you have to do secretly, it's only you who have to do it. So it's the kind of job that you are into that will depend or decide whether this needs to be done in a team or this is a standalone job. That's as simple as that.
There is a question posted by Ms. Ruhi.
Yeah.
What does team spirit mean to you and how would you go about building it?
Oh, team spirit is very essential. Team spirit cannot be diluted, can never be diluted for the simple reason that it will affect all the other motivated people. In my office, if every single one, I'll give an example. For example, in my furniture business, Sunday is a holiday. Sunday is a holiday, there's no doubt about that. But festive times, Diwali, Christmas, New Year, Ramzan, Eid, Sundays are working because it's a festive time. So Sundays are open, right? Throughout the year, Sunday is a holiday, but during festive times, Sundays are open and every single one of them must report. Now that's a teamwork. So if one person, just one person gives that frowning face that, oh, this Sunday I have a marriage to attend. This marriage I cannot miss. Somebody else will say, this Sunday I had already planned a trip to some other place. So I'm not coming. I am not coming. The entire team is dismantled now. So the team spirit, every single one of us, unless and until there's an emergency of life and death, they have to come. And that happens when the team is strong, the team spirit. Everyone has to be in a team to work towards the common goal. And that spirit cannot be diluted, because if one person says no, the others who are also willing to come, others who are also charged up will get demotivated. So we have to always build a team. To build a team, regular training sessions, regular brainstorming sessions have to be there. Address the concerned areas, address the issues, why the team is unhappy, why the team is not performing to the optimum level that it needs to. Solve their issues, solve their problems. And once you do that, the team spirit is something that is so powerful that they can really do something. I've experienced that many times. Team spirit cannot be diluted. And if somebody is a bad apple, remove that apple, better. If that apple is not going to get cured, if that bad apple doesn't understand, the best thing is remove the bad apple, because the other team will get spoiled. Yeah, team spirit is very important and essential actually.
Thank you, Mr. Parag.
Yeah.
Ms. Nandana Unni has posted a question. What is your approach on marketing?
Now, what's an approach in marketing means related to what?
Maybe any kind of marketing.
No, but what approach? I mean, approach always has to be positive.
I think Nandana is here. Nandana, you want to talk? Hello? Is Nandana, you want to talk to him?
See, marketing
posted by her in the chat box.
Approach to marketing is always positive approach, always convincing approach, always motivated approach. Because why do you market yourself? Why are you marketing yourself? Because you want to be seen. You want the product to be known. You want the whole world to take notice about it. So definitely it has to be the best shot that you ever give. You cannot have a half-hearted approach to marketing. Marketing is something that needs to enhance. Marketing will eventually catapult the product or the person or the company or the industry or the organization to the next level. So it better be good. It has to be with full force. Your entire resources must be pulled in for marketing. No doubt about that. Marketing is the most important part of any organizations. If marketing wasn't done, there are many ways of marketing: subtle marketing, aggressive marketing, proactive marketing, word-to-word marketing. So marketing has to be really very, very good. No doubt about that. So that's the only approach. It has to be good. No doubt about that.
Thank you, Parag.
Yeah.
Another question posted is how to handle the tight deadlines and manage their work-life balance.
How to manage the tight
deadlines.
Okay.
And manage their work-life balance.
Okay, now see, to do that, how to manage deadlines. Now, quite frankly, this is an area where a lot of people fumble. Primarily, they are not organized. Primarily, they are not organized in that area. When you know you have a deadline to meet, do your homework very well. Don't wait for the last minute. You have a deadline, say probably the 31st of this month. Today's only 2nd. People take it easy. I have a lot of days to go, I have a lot of time to do. But you never know when an emergency can come in. Also, overconfidence results in bad time management and not meeting the deadline. Okay, so when you're giving a task, when you're given a project, understand the entire thing in totality. What are the things that need to come in? What are the things that need not come in? Already make the basic frame and get it ready. For example, like very recently in my showroom, we were doing a turnkey project for a resort. Somebody asked me, what are the opportunities in COVID? Well, this is a huge opportunity for me in COVID times. A resort work is being done. The person has asked us a quotation already. The quotation date is 30th of this month, November. But my quotation is already ready by my team, already in our system. Because we were given enough and sufficient time to work on it. So we know where to source the material, how are we going to fix it, the manpower, the rates, the costing, everything is now ready in our place. The moment we share it, there might be some more things to be added or deleted. So we still have time to take care of it. So meeting a deadline is very, very crucial. Do not delay. Do not think that you have all the time in the world, because time is precious. Don't waste your time. If you get a job today for at least 15 days later, start working on it now. Because by the time you start working on it, you will start knowing the difficulty and probably you may not even meet the deadline. So you need to take corrective measures today. On the last day, a job given to you, which seems to be very easy, you have a lot of time. When you actually start sitting on it, you'll realize it's so tough that you cannot meet the deadline. And then the pressure mounts, you could lose your job, you could lose the project, you could lose an opportunity. So meet the deadline before you are dead is what a lot of people tell us actually. Start early to meet your deadline.
Thank you, Parag.
Yeah.
Could you take a few more questions?
I just saw one question that just passed by. Yeah, maybe one or two more and that's it.
Okay, fine. The qualities a person should possess to succeed in his career.
The qualities that I just mentioned earlier, all these things put together, your attitude. We have heard this word a million times, attitude. Unless and until you don't have the right attitude, you just cannot reach the optimum talent or skill that you possess. You can somehow manage. You can somehow manage to somehow figure out your life or your day or your work, but you will not reach optimum level or your best level if your attitude is not good. And along with your attitude comes gratitude. Be thankful to people who have helped you on your way to success. A lot of people have actually helped me. A lot of people have helped me attain success or attain my job or attain things that I was always thinking or dreaming about. There are many people who are actually trying to rain down your parade, but that's okay. Don't look at the people who want to destroy you. Always be with people who want to help you. So your right approach, your right attitude will eventually help you tide over all the wrongdoings. So that's very important.
Thank you. Let us take the last question.
Sure.
How do you deal with an unsatisfied customer?
Well, this is something, this is purely depending on what that customer has been dissatisfied with. But largely I'll tell you in my showroom, sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes you do have a very irritated customer, unsatisfied customer, a customer who doesn't understand reason. Now, these are our thoughts, but from the customer point of view, he's not getting what he has actually asked for. Right? So there could be a communication gap. That could be a product asked was A, delivered was B. He asked for a blue color, you gave a black color. So there may be thousands of issues why the customer is unsatisfied. So what do you do to satisfy this customer? Number one, let that customer talk his heart out. Listen to the customer silently and patiently. The customer may be wrong, he may be right, he may be being unreasonable, he's irritated, immaterial. Listen to the customer in totality. Let him talk for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Once he's finished, tell him, sir, I will try to work on this issue and come back to you as early as possible. We will solve the problem, don't worry. The moment you say that we will solve your problem, 50% chances are that this customer is now no more unhappy or not angry. He is still unsatisfied, but his satisfaction level will slowly come up now. The moment you tell him, I'm sorry, you had an issue with my company or with me or my product, let me work on it. But make this unsatisfied customer a satisfied customer and make this customer my goodwill ambassador. This has happened in the past. There was a lady who came to us and said that she bought a dining table, a very expensive dining table with so many, a marble top dining table she bought, and she was not happy because of some reason. And she came to my store and said that she wants to do this and that and stuff. We spoke to her, we made her understand, we replaced it, and not only did she go back satisfied, but on her way back, she ordered another bedroom for her sister who was getting married probably in about a month. So this is how you solve a problem by an unsatisfied customer. Speak to the customer as if they are their own. Let the customer win. Let the customer win. After all, they are our customers. They are the people who are paying us the money. So we will always want a customer to be satisfied. But there is always an exception. Somebody may just never be satisfied. Well, nothing can be done. But by and large, by solving their unsatisfactory problem, you can win them over. Always win over your customers and let them be your goodwill ambassadors.
Thank you, Parag. Thank you so much. One last and very interesting question.
Please tell me.
If you could start all over again, would you change your career path in any way?
Reminds me of what George Bernard Shaw said. You know, if I were to relive again, I would do things that I could have, but I couldn't. But frankly, no, I will not change anything that I have gone through. I've gone through some hardships in life. I had some great time in life. All said and done, when I see in totality, I am a pretty satisfied person. So if I were to restart entire thing, no, I will not even change a full stop or a comma of my life. No, definitely no.
Thank you so much, Mr. Parag, for patiently responding to all the concerns and queries of our students.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Let me now invite Ms. Devika Ajit Kumar, second year BCA student, to propose the vote of thanks.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Hari Om and good afternoon. Respected and our most distinguished chief guest of the day, Mr. Parag, respected Principal Dr. K.V. Surendran, our beloved HOD Anita ma'am, other teachers and my dear friends. I deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this session such a resounding success. First of all, I would like to thank Chief Guest Mr. Parag for very beautifully explaining us about interviews and how to present ourselves in interviews, and also about soft skills, and most importantly, for answering all our questions. Thank you, sir, for your interesting and thought-provoking section. I would like to express my profound gratitude to our principal, Dr. K.V. Surendran sir, our HOD Anita ma'am, and also all other teachers for their support and guidance. And finally, let me thank all my friends for their participation and patient listening. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Devika. Once again, on behalf of our institution, I thank the resource person, Mr. Parag, for such an interactive and engaging session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you so much. Pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Girls, I have posted the attendance and feedback form. 2 forms have been posted. Please see that you fill in the details to collect your e-certificate and submit the response. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.